That was the airplane guy, wasn't it?
That was.
He ended up living in a theater with fingernails like 8 feet long.
Yeah, he went insane. He was afraid to touch things. He was a germaphobe. He was a nutcase. Leonardo DiCaprio played him.
Leonardo.
Leonard
DiCap.
Leonard DiCap.
This show is so stupid.
If one of y'all says some silly ass name, this whole class is gonna feel my wrath. You say your name right now.
Denise.
Say it right.
Denise.
Correctly.
Denise.
Right.
Denise.
Right.
Denise.
That's better. Thank you.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This isn't another repeat, I promise. Here are your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hey, I'm Mike.
I'm Darin.
This is episode 238 of Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
We're excited that you're here. Welcome. We hope that you had a fantastic holiday. This is like the first week of 2025 or 2025?
Either one.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's like a debate over that.
Yeah.
Because look,
I'm going to call it the mid-20s.
When it was 1984, you didn't say 1984.
When you were growing up in the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And people talked about the 20s. Did you think that? I mean, that's damn near the Stone Age.
I know.
People out there doing the Charleston. Did they even have that then?
So they were the flappers.
The flappers. Yeah. It's like, what the hell was with those people? We are now those people in the 21st century.
Yes.
Yeah. We're living in the 20s right now.
It's amazing.
What the hell?
And you just figured that out. We're like halfway through the 20s.
I know. I mean, back in the 1920s, I mean, they had 6-year-olds mining coal. Mm-hmm. They didn't even have seatbelts.
Right.
Did they have cars? So Charlie,
they had buggies.
So I do want to say this. Today, Charlie told me he was excited because he's getting a haircut tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
All right. And I said, boy, I'd love to get a haircut. Yeah,
I'm trying to remember the last time I had one.
Well, he said, did they have haircuts when you were a boy?
Okay.
And I said, yes.
Yes.
They had haircuts. He's just like, well, I know you could cut your hair, but what did you do? Did your dad cut it? I'm like, no, they had a place. They had places that you go get your hair cut? Like, we rode there on our horse.
Yeah, the same places are still open.
Yeah.
I used to get my hair cut at Great Clips.
Yeah,
it's still open.
He
still
literally
a place,
said,
still
how did you get there?
Yeah.
I wanted to say, we rode the horse on the old dirt road to the nearest town. It was a week-long journey.
Charlie's doing the same stuff that I used to do with my dad, because I remember asking him, I said, Dad, when Abraham Lincoln ran for president, did you vote for him or the other guy? That was pretty funny. Yeah. Hilarious. Even back then, I was that funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what'd you get for Christmas?
Oh, I got so many great things.
Yeah?
Yeah, everything on my list.
Did you?
Yeah, I was so excited.
Name 3.
Stocking stuffers. I got the adjustable wrench.
Yeah.
I got the plastic unbreakable comb.
Okay.
And I got some peppermint Peeps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got peppermint Peeps. Wow. I've heard they're great.
They're so good.
People.
They are my favorite Peep.
I don't know what is going on with the Peep factory, but I love it. Somewhere along the line, somebody walked in and said, I'm tired of the same old damn Peeps. Let's start shaking it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's get some cinnamon Peeps. Let's get some banana Peeps, whatever. And now they got the peppermint Peeps.
Normally, I am against that.
Again, Peeps.
Right.
Again.
Well, no. Like Pop-Tarts has made 40 or 50 flavors of Pop-Tarts, just like Oreo cookies has, and Cheerios has, 20-some different brands,
Cheerios
flavors
needs to calm down.
of Cheerios. They do. They really do. We had a whole entire episode about that. Boy, that was a compelling episode. Look it up.
Yeah.
So, Peeps have their, maybe a dozen flavors?
Yeah.
Maybe. I
And
don't
they
know.
have flavors that they cycle in and out, which pisses me right off. Because they had the Red Hot Cinnamon Peeps. The Red Hots.
Yeah.
The Perils. You get those at the movies and you break your teeth off with them.
Yes.
They're awesome. And they had Peeps one year, and I was so excited the next Easter to come around to get more Red Hot Peeps. You think I have a problem now. Red Hot Peeps days, that was rough. And now they don't have them anymore.
For the longest time, the Peeps had different colors, but the yellow ones tasted the same as the pink, and the pink ones tasted the same as the blue and the purple, or what? Yeah. So they all tasted the same, but it wasn't until recent that I know of, that they started adding flavors, like the hot strawberry. What,
Yeah,
what are those?
The strawberry Peeps.
The flaming. What are
flaming
they?
strawberries.
They're not flaming strawberry.
It's just regular strawberry. It's
yeah. They're not on fire. That'd be something.
Yeah.
If they came, it's like, whoa.
And when I got deep into Peep land last year, I mean, listeners.
You had a problem.
I had a problem.
You had like 30-some boxes in your cabinet.
This portion of our show is brought to you by the Butter Cutter. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and I love to host dinner parties. Well, if you ask me, the most important part of dinner is the butter. A nice pat of real butter placed directly on a freshly baked dinner roll turns a regular meal into an enjoyable eating experience. You might not know this, but I have OCD, and nothing grinds my gears more than when one pat of butter is larger than the other. And that's where the Butter Cutter comes in. With this revolutionary product, you can cut a stick of butter into 16 even pieces. And just like that, everybody's happy. So make your next dinner party a success with the Butter Cutter.
I had a Christmas party.
Yes.
And
brilliant segue.
Boy, it was a doozy.
There was so much of that party
that I can't even talk about. There are legal reasons why I can't discuss things that happened at this Christmas party.
We
were offline,
yeah,
and we discussed. There were some things that you didn't even know happened. You were there. You got there at the beginning of it.
Yeah. If I may,
you may.
There was and there still is a Motley Crue movie on Netflix. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And it starts off, there's a massive party going on.
Yeah.
And the naive Mike was watching this. It's a brilliant movie, by the way. You should definitely watch it.
You have told me
I've talked about it.
Yeah.
I'm watching this, and the naive part of Mike said, I get to see what really happened at the Motley Crue parties.
Mm-hmm.
More wizened and
wizened?
Streetwise.
Oh,
yeah.
Mike. Wise
wizened.
equals
wizened.
Yes. Okay. Why?
Streetwise Mike says, there's no way in hell they're putting all the stuff that went down in the Motley Crue party, even in the tell-all Motley Crue movie on Netflix. And our discussion of your holiday party right now is very similar to the Netflix rendition.
It's not.
There's no way in hell. When Darin and I went through...
There was no Motley Crueing going on at the party.
When Darin and I went through the holiday party, it became absolutely clear that we were at two different parties. Darin was in the hell party. The party that he should be happy he just didn't wake up in jail from. Right? And then I was in the nerd party. There's always any party where stuff's going down. There's always that group of people that had no idea that this stuff was happening. To me, the party was involved with those people we were talking to in the living room about vacations. Me talking to Chris Michael for about 3.5 days
By the way,
on nerd stuff.
Mike and Chris Michael have patched things up. Mike no longer wants to punch him in the face.
He knows he's one of my favorite people.
He no longer wants to punch
I
Chris
do want to
face.
punch him in the face.
Oh, for God's sakes.
I do.
Okay.
Well, I just want to know what it feels like. I would feel really bad afterwards. I just want to see the look on his face after I do it.
But no, they patched things up.
We patched things up.
Mike and Chris were each other's shadow.
Yeah.
They did not leave each other the entirety of the party.
So I didn't have too many annoyances. Can I go through my annoyances? Because my list is short.
Okay.
My annoyances at your party. And I mentioned this in the pre-show. There were about 4 teenagers that felt the need to keep sliding in front of me no matter where I stood in the party. They were always going from point A to point B. And like, they have to get over there. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. It's going sideways. And you have to stop doing what you're doing. You have to stop talking. You have to move your drink off to the side to let them pass. And then you continue your story. And then about a minute later, they're freaking coming back. And coming from like, where are you going?
It's kind of like when I was a kid and my mom would be like, you either play inside or you play outside.
That's exactly what it was like.
Find a place, hang out there.
And I didn't do this. And I know I didn't do this because I'm not in jail right now. But I wanted to grab one of them by the shirt collar.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. Yeah. But I'm telling you what I wanted to do. I wanted to grab him by the shirt collar. You know how like Crockett did back in Miami Vice? The drug dealers grabbed those big 70s shirt collars that they were still wearing and say...
That's why they made them that big.
Exactly. Can you finish your business over here? Could you just finish your business?
Yeah, find a place.
We're over here by the kitchen table. What do you have left to do that you're going to come back for in 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Finish it. And then go stand by the bathroom.
There were 3 incidents at the party where I had to clean up something. And
I wasn't present for any of them.
Not going to mention, well, I'll mention the third one.
Yeah.
But so I'm cleaning up the first one. And when I was done cleaning up that, I noticed that some people had left. I don't know why they up and left, but they texted me, said, sorry, but we had to go.
Yeah. Well, it's like the movie Aliens. Some people just got back in the car to blast off.
Is that the Irish goodbye? Is that what they call it? Where you just leave a party?
Is that what it is?
I think. I don't know.
Are we allowed to say that?
I don't know.
I'm going to go ahead and apologize to Bono and the Edge.
Sorry to all you Irelanders.
Yeah.
So after the first thing that I cleaned up, some friends of mine had to leave and they left, and I wasn't able to say goodbye to them. The second thing I cleaned up, some more people had left. And then the third thing, I had a bottle of Jameson whiskey.
Yeah.
And my friend Michael Flannery loves Jameson. He asked if he could have some. I said, absolutely, Michael.
Michael Flannery asks for Jameson whiskey. You best give Michael Flannery Jameson. You don't want to see him when he knows there's Jameson whiskey to be had and he can't have it.
Right.
Katie, bar the door. Right?
Phone the neighbors, wake the kids. Ooh. Yeah. So Michael's had a few, and oh my God, do I love Michael Flannery. He is a fantastic friend.
Hilarious.
We're talking, I talked to Michael so much and had a great time. He's getting ready to leave, gives me a hug, decides to start kissing me on the neck, and then he pours some of his leftover Jameson whiskey down my back.
Yeah.
So I had to clean that up.
Yeah.
So there's something on the floor, this on a table, and then booze down my back.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. And you missed all of those things.
Yeah, they didn't happen on my watch.
Then, and you didn't know this either, but I got a text, and I don't know who the text is from. Someone has kidnapped one of my snowmen. Oh. I have stuffed animals in front of my fireplace.
Yep.
Someone kidnapped Sam Snowman.
Yeah.
From Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. So somebody kidnapped him and sent a ransom note to me. Okay. I don't know who it was. Yeah. I have my suspicions. Okay. But I'm like, are you going to give it back? Kind of like that snowman.
So I have some suggestions for your next party.
Okay.
I compiled my experiences from your party, and I would like to, first off, get better traffic lanes through your house for those damn kids.
You know, in the past, we used to take our coffee table out of our living room and just moved it into the bedroom.
Or a crossing guard, something. Something to...
Actually, and the reason we did that was because it's insane the amount of people who think it's fine, all willy-nilly, to put their feet on your coffee table.
Yeah, or a zip line. Something so they can get to where they need to be back and forth. The other is, can you move your trash can? Because I spent half the night telling people where your trash can is. I don't know why they kept asking me. It's like, is there... every 3 to 4 minutes, somebody would wander by with a confused look on their face, with a piece of rubbish, if you're British, in their hand. And they would say,
it's right there.
I know where it is. But for some reason, they kept walking around confused.
People Magazine did a study, and it was determined that 93% of all homeowners keep their trash in the laundry room.
So
that is a fact.
I think it's wonderful that you have friends that care about throwing their trash away.
Yeah, most people just leave it.
Or drop it or throw it at people. In your house, they seemed really intent on throwing it away, and I was directing that half of the trash is in your trash can because I told the trash giver where the trash receptacle was.
Yeah.
And the third suggestion is, can you have a full bottle of Tums right there in the kitchen, ready for use? If you're going to have all those that chili and those damn meatballs that I ate about 50 of.
Those are good.
And the deviled eggs and all that stuff. You got a bunch of old people. I don't know if you know this. There's a bunch of old people at your party. People that need Tums. Just go ahead and put them there.
And I had the peppery pretzels. Yeah. Did you have any of those?
No. I didn't even get to that far. I didn't even get to that.
If I can brag, I outdid myself on the pepper pretzels, and I outdid myself on the chili.
Yeah. I had a bunch of things that I wanted to try, and then I just never did.
Yeah.
It was a fun gig.
It was a fun party.
Yeah. So I want to talk about my discussion with Chris Michael.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, Mike for weeks now, and then I even got involved in it. But Mike patched things up with Chris Michael.
So Chris Michael and I need to hang out more.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He needs someone to nerd out with. We and him were nerding out about PC components, building a PC, gaming, and all this stuff. And it became clear that we can't talk. So last week, when I was talking about the Indiana Jones game.
Yeah, I love that conversation.
I think you fell asleep about 15 times.
I did not.
Yeah. You're digging. You started digging at your leg, pouring Jameson down Michael Flannery's back. All these things. But Chris Michael was engaged. He was excited. Now they do have kids at home.
They do
have two
adorable Victoria and Natalie.
And so he had to keep checking on them. And I could Mike.
Hey,
Chris Michael. I'm talking here. Yeah. I'm talking about video games. Yeah. Tell whoever to go over there and look at the kids. We're talking video games right now. But for the most part, we had a very engaging conversation. Now, he may be snowing me. He may be, what's that called?
Snowing?
Snowing me? Or
blowing you
putting
off?
Putting me on.
He may be pushing you over.
Like, okay, let's talk video games, Mike, because that's all he wants to talk about. Okay, blah, blah, blah. He may have a different view of the conversation, but I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Right.
I did miss Jason Durbin. Because usually Jason Durbin is in on those conversations. And we geek out.
Yes.
That went nowhere. I'll leave that to the editing geniuses.
Well, poor Jason Durbin was sick as a dog and wasn't able to come to the party.
Yeah.
So we missed him. I texted him. I said, boy, you missed a doozy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun times.
You're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
I heard your dad went into a restaurant and ate everything in the restaurant, and they had to close the restaurant.
Now, speaking of Christmas parties, have you ever been where they have the white elephant gift or dirty,
like on The Office,
Yankee swap?
Yankee swap.
We are going to turn Secret Santa into Yankee swap.
What is Yankee swap?
One person chooses a gift. The next person can either choose a gift or steal that person's gift. If your gift gets stolen, then you can steal someone else's gift or choose a new gift.
I thought that was called Nasty Christmas.
Yeah, we call it white elephant.
Well, I call it fun.
Do you ever participate in that?
No, we did. With Bess's family, we used to do that. Everyone would buy like a $20 gift or whatever, and we'd pass them around and do weird things. Yeah.
Because there was one year I went and I drew, and one of the only things there, you could tell it was a plunger.
Okay.
Because they didn't put it in a box. Yeah. They wrapped the plunger around the stick, the handle, as it were, and then the bell of the plunger.
If I may. Yeah. The key to a good plunger is supple rubber and a very tight adhesive fit between the wood and the rubber of the plunger.
Well, you got to get the Corky Beehive Max.
You need something that can really push and take it.
That's what she said.
Nothing will piss you off more than trying to plunge a really hefty load down the turlet, and you're the wood handle or the plastic handle these days goes right through and down the drain, and the plunger.
Oh, come on! That's never happened.
It happened to me a couple of weeks, and I didn't go all the way down the drain. I stopped it, but went right through it. I plunge vehemently.
I swear to God, years ago,
vehement plunger.
Somebody came over to our home and had to have put an entire roll of toilet paper.
That's probably me. Yeah.
No, this is before we hung out.
Okay,
and I plunged that son of a bitch for 3 days before I got it to go down. It was nasty.
I mean, sometimes you're wiping a long time. You know.
No, I think somebody just decided to flush it, and it wasn't anybody in our family. It's friends or one of our son's friends, I believe. Okay. I think I have my suspicions.
Okay.
Anywho, there was the one time where I got the plunger, and it had a gift card on it, and so now I use the plunger when I juggle. Because I have a plunger.
It had a gift card on it.
It had a gift card, but I keep the plunger with all my juggling stuff, and I juggle a football, a hammer, and a plunger.
Okay.
It's part of my act.
Yeah.
So there's that. When I worked at Channel 5, they called it Dirty Santa.
Uh-huh.
Every year we had Dirty Santa. I walk into work, and I get up to the top of the steps, and my boss, Mark, is standing there. Darin, where have you been? And I thought, oh, my God, I am in so much trouble. And I'm like, I'm sorry I ran late. He goes, Dirty Santa. I'm like, oh, yes, that's right. That's today. Oh, crap. I didn't get anything. I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
So I ran back. And when I worked at Channel 5, there was a guy there named Randy.
Mm-hmm.
Randy had written a book called Bleed the Game. It's about a sports something sports.
Okay.
And no offense, it didn't sell very well. Okay, so Randy had
tons of copies,
8, 9, 10 boxes full of Bleed the Game that he kept in one of our storage areas. So I ran back there real quick, got a copy of Bleed the Game.
Yeah.
Went back in my office. I had some wrapping paper there because one day Sandy asked if people could help wrap presents. I said, sure. So I accidentally just left and had wrapping paper in my office.
Yeah.
So I wrapped a copy of this book real quick, threw it in the pile, and then, long story short, Randy ends up getting his own book.
Yeah, okay.
Bleed the Game.
Yeah.
I felt horrible, so the next day, Santa brought a bottle of Jack Daniels in and snuck it into into his office.
Okay.
So, and then I made up because I really did feel he got screwed out of my gift. But that was fun. We're invited to one of them white elephant parties. I have no idea what to get for anybody. It's tough. It's like, do you do something ridiculously stupid and be memorable, or do you buy
Irritable Dad Syndrome mug?
Oh, yeah. Hey. Yeah. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
Advertising. It's worthless.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can't return it.
Absolutely
they
not.
Are stuck. What are you going to do?
What do you do with it?
We'll find it in a yard sale.
Yeah.
This portion of our show is brought to you by the Corky Beehive Max Toilet Plunger, the world's most powerful plunger. Hi, I'm Dave Lay. Are you tired of breaking your back trying to unclog a nasty, impossibly blocked up toilet? Well, stand back, Troy. Do I have a product for you? The Beehive Max Toilet Plunger fits all toilet brands, including Kohler, with no splashback and powerful clog removal. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why the hell do they call it the Beehive Max? Well, it's because this plunger actually looks like a beehive. It's quite brilliant, really. Run out and buy one for every bathroom in your home, because there's nothing more embarrassing than having company over and having to yell, "Hey honey, can you bring me the plunger?" The Corky Beehive Max Toilet Plunger, available everywhere quality toilet repair products are sold. Now, back to the show.
Do you have a Samsung TV?
I do. I have multiple. That's a Samsung TV. The one upstairs is a Samsung TV.
Well, my friend, you are in luck because Letterman TV, the channel, is on Samsung.
Okay.
If you own a Samsung TV, you can watch the 24-hour Letterman channel.
Is it only on Samsung TVs?
It's on Samsung TVs, and it's awesome.
So bad. Okay.
It is so awesome.
Okay.
Last night I had acid reflux out the wazoo.
Okay.
And when I do that, I take Tums and some other things, and then I will eat lime sherbet to get the taste out of my mouth and to cool my throat. Lime sherbet really cools off the throat.
Yeah. Okay.
That's, Uncle Darin's tip if you get the acid reflux. But then you got to sit up for a while to get everything fixed. And so I'm out in my living room and I find it, and I'm watching Letterman for a couple of hours.
Is it so? It's like it's all the old Letterman shows.
It's the Late Show years because he owns all the Late Show stuff.
Which is from when to when?
From 93 to when he retired.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, so pre-93.
Well, a lot of those were owned by Carson, and then NBC owns the Late Night with David Letterman.
Oh man.
Stuff. I know.
That's the dropping the watermelon off the building and all.
Well, they did that too.
Okay.
They did that at Sylvan Theater. They sure did. They exploded stuff and but yeah, I watched so many episodes of Fun with Rupert where he had the goggles and the hat and Dave would be safe in the taxi cab and he would make Rupert do like the jazz box and he was out there dancing and puts the thumb in the woman's drink. I mean, it's just priceless. But yeah, if you have a Samsung TV, you can watch Letterman TV, a 24-hour Letterman channel, and it is exactly what I needed.
I've got to check that. See, the reason I went is because when we try to watch through apps on our TV, the connection is weird, it's slow, it's janky.
Well, that's the thing. It's not on an app. It's not like on Roku channel or anything like that. I can't even explain it.
I know what you're saying. The app is in the TV. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We have multiple apps like that, and they're all janky.
Yeah.
We have to play them through the PlayStation or the Xbox or Roku to make them play smoothly.
I like how you call it Roku.
Roku.
Not the Roku.
Yeah.
Roku.
Exactly.
But I love it. I'm so excited that I can watch Letterman again. And of course, you can still watch My Next Guest Needs No Introduction on Netflix. And then, I don't know if you've watched the Barbara Gaines show. Oh. He's the only guest who's ever on the Barbara Gaines show, and it's great. And that's on YouTube. So check that out. I don't know why I'm plugging Letterman. Everybody knows about it already. So you're welcome, Dave.
Well, now we're having fun, aren't we? Now it's time for the Walmart Story of the Week.
I hate returning things. One of my biggest pet peeve is returning things. I hate doing it. And I love my wife more than I hate returning things. So if she asks me to return something for her, I will do it with a smile on my face. She bought this giant bag of oranges at the Walmart, and they tasted like ass. Sour ass. They tasted horrible.
So you threw them away?
No, we returned them.
You drove?
I drove to the Walmart
to return oranges.
Well, she had a couple other things at Walmart that I was going to return. So I'm in line, and the lady who's working the desk clearly is just waiting to die. She does not want to be there.
She can't wait to deal with this guy that drove a bag of oranges back to Walmart.
That's right.
Okay.
She ended up being extremely nice, but I was looking I was like, this is not going to go well at all.
How did you describe the oranges?
I said, they taste horrible. I said, they taste almost like they're grapefruit. And then I was talking to the woman. I wasn't talking to the man behind me. And the reason I bring this up is because the man behind me says, you know what? Were they red on the inside? There's a kind of orange that tastes just like a grapefruit. I think you may have got a grapefruit.
You got mansplained to.
Yes.
From somebody behind you.
Yes.
Yeah.
To which, it's like I held up the bag and I told him, I said, these are oranges.
Yeah, I know what an orange is.
Yeah. Well, and not only do I know what an orange is, my wife knows what an orange is.
These are clearly oranges.
Now, I easily could have made the mistake, because the last time I was in Kroger, I was buying sour cream, and I bought a thing of cottage cheese instead. It's right next to the sour cream.
Yes.
It's right next to It's in a white thing with red. It's red and white. The logos are right next, and it's Kroger brand. I grabbed it.
I bought
cottage cheese instead of sour cream.
I had to go buy a chicken breast, and I came home with a 20-pound turkey. They're right next to each other. But
the bag clearly says oranges.
Yeah, oranges.
Oranges. And he said, I think you got one of them grapefruits. No, I didn't. They're oranges.
So he was describing a blood orange. Is that what they're called?
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Which, if you want to make something sound clearly very unappetizing.
I was in a band called Blood Orange. Yeah. But the lady was, and she, gave us our money back on the oranges. Because have you ever bought fruit? Fruit's expensive.
Okay.
You buy fruit and it tastes like ass?
Yeah.
We don't throw it away. We return it.
This has been the Walmart Story of the Week. It's time now for the Kroger Story of the Week.
I've bought fruits for years
from
Kroger, and I'm stopping because their stuff is always rotten or close to being rotten, and I'm tired of it. The number of times, so I make stir fry at least once a week, sometimes twice a week if I'm feeling really randy,
feeling froggy,
and I always put bell peppers in there and I onions, and sometimes broccoli. I used to do broccoli all the time. Why don't you do broccoli all the time now, Mike? Because a lot of times their broccoli is not fresh. You pick it up and it's like parts of it are literally brown, and I'm like, okay, I'm not dealing with it. It's like limp. Fresh broccoli should not be limp.
No.
It should be rigid.
Erect.
Hello.
So, twice now, I've bought
We've got a title.
Yeah.
My broccoli
is erect.
Yeah.
I've bought bell peppers, and I squeeze them. I've got the thing where I squeeze the peppers in the store.
Please don't squeeze the peppers.
Because I need to make sure that they're rigid and erect. You don't want a flaccid pepper.
No, you don't. No.
In the store.
No.
Means you're going to have a bad time at home.
No, you can't penetrate with a limp pepper.
Yeah, so I bring what is an erect pepper home, and I'm going to make the stir fry the next day. I pull it out. I cut into it. It's brown on the inside.
What?
And part of the pepper is it's bruised and like limp.
Well,
it's a rotten.
It's
a rotten pepper. No, I'm not. I'm saying I'm squeezing it.
I know how hard you squeeze, Mike.
That's what she said.
I am firmly touching it. I'm not saying squeezing it. And then onions. I had an onion that was bad yesterday, and I got so pissed at my bad onion.
Yeah.
It had a point that was like a little squishy, and I thought I could just peel off the layers. I had to peel off so many layers that by the end of it, the onion's gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of having apples that they're okay in there, and then you bring them home, and after a day, they're starting to get rotten. I don't know what it is about the produce. Bess has bought produce at Meijer. She has been a Meijer person forever. She quit going to Kroger because she didn't like a lot of their produce and stuff like that. So she started going to Meijer.
There was another thing. Yeah,
I've chastised her. I've what's that called? Ridiculed her. Oh, look at the Meijer. Look at the Meijer person. And now I'm like,
Did
you know what?
Did you tell her you're the husband and she will shop where she's supposed to? No. Okay. Well, whatever.
I've always been the Kroger guy.
You do you, Mike.
I know where everything is in Kroger. I can go in there blindfolded and buy a week's worth of groceries.
Yeah, me too.
And now I've been disillusioned. Their produce sucks. There's always a bunch of gnats and fruit flies all over the onions. I tell myself, well, I'll buy the onion that they're not landing on.
Is this a third world country?
It's what it feels like.
Got monkey brains and onions,
skinned cats hanging up in there. I don't need it. So I'm starting to buy my produce elsewhere. There was one time I went into Kroger. It was like 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning on a Sunday. Everything was fresh, rigid, erect. I had a fruit fun day. I bet you did. I bought all the fruit and brought it all home, and we enjoyed it the entire week. It was wonderful.
It made you satisfied.
It satisfied us, all of us. But lately, all y'all, you yins, y'all. But lately, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And I've seen a number of posts on the Nextdoor app. We've talked about the Nextdoor app, which is just a place for people to bitch.
To go next door. Yeah.
And there's been people on there saying, what's the deal with the produce
What's happening
at the
here?
Kroger? Oh my gosh. They're fine with cheese. They're fine with crackers.
How do you f*** up a cracker? I mean, come on.
That's an alternate title. I like best? How do you f*** up a cracker?
You know what I like best? They got some good crackers going on there.
I'm just saying.
You know Dave Lay, the announcer for this podcast?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Dave Lay.
Years and years ago, he did a video for this cracker factory. It was a cracker factory.
Yes,
and still to this day,
I always thought it was elves in a tree that made them, but I guess it's a factory.
He brags that he ate one fresh off the conveyor belt. Darin, they let me eat one fresh, hot off the conveyor belt.
Was it a saltine?
Yeah. And then you could also go to the wing of the factory where they made the graham crackers. And he ate one of them sons of bitches right off the hot off the conveyor belt.
You know the thing that pisses me off about graham crackers is that they make the little scores like you're going to break off a smaller piece. You tell yourself, I'm only going to eat half of this freaking tome, this monolith.
What? A tome?
A tome.
This monolith.
A monolith.
We're still
I've been reading a lot this year.
Are we talking about graham crackers or Game of Thrones?
The monolith, and the monkeys in the 2001, they're beating the thing with the bones.
Yeah, and then
that thing.
Yeah.
Graham crapper.
Graham
cracker.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Hey, what happened?
This has been the Kroger Story of the Week.
I do want to talk about Interstellar, though.
Okay.
Shift gears.
Interstellar.
This past Saturday, right before your party, we, as a family, went to the IMAX to see Interstellar. It's the 10-year anniversary. They re-released it. So it was re-released.
One day only, right?
It was no. So it was re-released for December 6th for a day in IMAX, select IMAX theaters, like 10 or 15 of them.
I pray to God your city's been selected.
And it wasn't. And then they extended it through the weekend. Then they extended it through the week. Then they added another weekend and added more theaters. And Andrew just told me last night that it has set the record for the most successful re-release of an IMAX film. People, and it was, the theater was packed when we were in there. It was awesome, amazing seeing it on the big screen again. It's Andrew's favorite movie. It's one of my top 5.
Okay,
I was bawling.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You've seen it.
I have.
When he's seeing the videos,
the thing,
and the stuff, and whatever, and he's crying, he's banging,
he's like, hey,
he's banging through the books.
Don't stop that.
So there's all the nerdy people in there.
I'm here.
They're thinking about the fourth dimension, fifth dimension thing.
Interstellar.
I'm sitting there, just bawling, just ugly crying, sniffling.
Oh God,
loved it.
The scene that got me was when he went down to planet
Voltron,
yeah. Was down there maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Gets back in the ship.
It's been 20-something years.
20-some years. Dude is still on the ship.
Yeah. I would have left him. I would have gone,
me too.
What the hell?
Yeah. So then he's like, hey, wow, how old are you now? I got to go. And he leaves him again.
So my favorite thing, and it got me again for the re-release, is Matt Damon plays a massive role in that movie. And when it first came out, nothing in the trailers, nothing on the movie poster,
like, hey, that's Matt Damon.
Nothing said Matt Damon's in it. So your first thought when you see Matt Damon is he's a good guy.
Hey, there's
Matt Damon. Because he always plays a good guy.
Well,
name a time he played a bad guy, other than Interstellar, before Interstellar. Huh?
Okay.
I mean, he was mean to some people in Bourne, but that's just how he was trained.
Right.
Anyway, my point is, you see him and you don't immediately think he's the villain or he's going to be a villain.
Right.
And then he just rips that communicator chip off of all right, and
Matthew
shoves him off the cloud. And you're like, holy, what the hell? Mm-hmm. And it's one of my favorite lines of like, do you think he's trying to maroon us? And McConaughey's like, he is marooning us. I'm like,
What was it? Somebody figured out how much money has been spent trying to save Matt Damon because it's Private Ryan,
the Martian,
Interstellar. Hey, I'm the Martian.
Yeah.
Dude, I love The Martian, by the way.
I did too.
Isn't that great?
I've only seen it once. I need to watch it again.
The NASA people say, hey, they came really, really, really close to that being realistic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing with Interstellar. They had there's a what's that called? A book that came out with it, written by a theoretical physicist.
Right. It's a co-book.
A co-book.
That's exactly what
the theoretical physicist. I can't remember his name. Something Torn.
It's the companion piece.
Who goes through the science
co-book.
The science of it. There is one thing that stuck us. Just hit me and Bess. The co-book. There is one piece of the movie that just struck me and Bess as completely unrealistic. What did I say? Did I say something funny?
I'm just laughing at the co-book.
The co-book. Love the movie. All right? Love the movie. He gets to the end, spoiler for a 10-year-old movie, and his daughter is dying of old age, and he's the same age that he left.
Right.
And she says, nobody should see their daughter die. Go on. I have my family around.
Right.
And he just goes off, and now he's Buck Rogers. He's going back to save Anne Hathaway, who's on the other planet. And I'm like, yeah, I get that he may go stand out in the hallway, but this whole room is full of his grandchildren and all these people, and he's just be like, all right, I spent all this to come back, go get in the ship, and I'm gone. Have a cookie?
You could take the cowboy out of space, but you can't take space out of the cowboy. What? Maybe they explained it better in the co-book.
I don't know what happened. I think the co-book does explain that better. Fun fact, you can't find the co-book. Andrew did not get the co-book for Christmas. I was going to get it for him, but I couldn't get it delivered in time. It's coming from some guy off in some place.
Somewhere.
Where they keep all the co-books.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Overthinkers Incorporated, providing irrational solutions since 1932.
I want to bitch about extended warranties. My son
Yeah.
has a Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Okay, he got it for his when he was 17.
Yeah.
And
now, if two Outlanders see each other, they have to fight until one cuts the.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So I drive it every now and then to see if it's making any weird noises or. And his touchscreen isn't working because I was trying to adjust his clock.
It's a new car.
Yeah. Well,
Newish.
it's 3 years old now.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I'm trying to adjust the clock, and I cannot get the clock to adjust. And I know what you're going to say. Boomer doesn't know how to do anything. Chris Michael knows how to adjust the clock of the car.
We've well established your status in this podcast.
So I get back to the house. I said, Jacob, I was trying to adjust your clock. And he says, oh, the touchscreen isn't working.
For warranties, aren't you supposed to like shoot a flare up the instant you notice something?
His warranty expired in July.
Yeah.
It was like October or November when his touchscreen went out.
Okay.
So, 3 months past the warranty was when starts to fall apart on the car.
That's how they time these things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have never bought an extended warranty for a car. I don't know how many cars I've owned.
We just bought our first one with the Highlander.
But I never needed an extended warranty until and now.
You also never had an iPad as part of your car.
I know.
Just that's how they got me to buy one. He said when your screen breaks, it's $3,500 just to replace just the screen.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, what does the screen do? Oh, then it just lists off all this stuff. I was like, okay, I guess we'll do the thing.
But here's the thing, you can laugh at me all you want. My car, that I still listen to the CD player, and I still listen to the AM/FM radio, I can listen to my music no problem.
Yeah.
Jacob can't get his music dialed up off of his phone to save his life because it's broken.
I'm driving the old Kia Mobile, and it has its weird problems every once in a while. It'll toss a skunk out the back, or something weird will happen to it. But I can still listen to the music.
Yeah.
That sucks. So they're not going to fix it. That's where you're headed to. It's out of warranty?
They'll fix it. But we'll have to pay to fix it.
Yeah.
So that's just going to be fun.
The extended warranties are like the health insurance for cars is basically what it is.
Yeah. Well, it's more health insurance.
Pay us this thing, and then when the thing breaks, you're either out of warranty or we don't cover that part of it, or we'll cover this seat.
And it's never the driver's side. It's always the passenger's seat that's covered.
I walked in, when we bought the Highlander, like, I'm not doing the extended warranty. We actually did not buy the extended warranty on Bess's Sienna.
Yeah.
Toyota Sienna. We bought that one new. And they tried to sell it to us, and I actually pissed off the dealer. The guy that was doing the thing, he said, he got passive-aggressive with me. He just went through the whole warranty, and I'm like, we're not interested in the warranty. And he's like, okay, well, I have one of these, and within 3 years, the door stopped opening the way it should, the automatic door. And I'm like, are you saying the doors are defective? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the warranty covers the doors. And if it stops working, then that's a $800 repair. I was like, well, if the doors are defective...
That's just awesome how he told you all the shit that's going to break on it.
But we were not swayed.
They just don't make cars like they used to.
Yeah, we were not swayed. But then we buy this one, and they tell us about the screen, and I had looked it up on my phone while we were waiting for them to get their thing together. And everybody's talking about the screen breaking, screen break, screen blah, 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 blah. And he got to that point, and I'm like, okay, we'll do the thing that fixes the screen if it breaks. And then, randomly, at the time, I thought, well, this is odd that he's asking me this. Now that I've had time to reflect on it, he asked me what I was driving, because he knew that this car was for Bess. I said, what are you driving? I'm driving a Kia. And he's like, oh, those things are pieces. I was like, I know. And he's like, boy, they drink oil. I'm like, okay. He's like, every Kia I've ever seen drinks oil. I'm like, okay, that's the second time you've said that now. And the guy came in, and they were doing stuff to the car. They get it ready for you. The guy, and he's like, the guy came in, he's like, yeah, he's driving a Kia. And the guy that was coming in.
Yeah, I heard that they drink oil.
Exactly. It was like a bit that they had rehearsed. He's like, boy, it drinks oil. I'm like,
by the gallon.
And now I'm starting to wonder if this means something other than what I was thinking. You know what I mean?
It's probably like that scene in Glenn Ross where a new person, a customer, walks into the thing,
Yeah.
and Al Pacino pretends to be Jack Lemmon's client.
Yeah.
And then, like, later on, Jack Lemmon will be Al Pacino's client.
Yeah.
Do you have a car that doesn't drink oil?
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked that, Chester.
But he would start entering our information in as we're applying for this thing for the Highlander. And he's like, boy, yeah, with them kids, they really drink the oil.
They drink the oil.
They drink it. Man, I know Bert such and such had one
His
a couple
car,
of years ago.
It drank oil,
He
too.
would drive around with a case of oil. Boy, he'd drink it. He had to, I'm not kidding, every time he went to work, he'd have to pour oil. Boy, he'd drink it.
Glug, glug,
Boy,
glug.
I tell you, he just go right through it. And he'd come home,
He
and
would
he
drink
told
a
me
gallon, he would burp the car.
he had to just pour more. Boy, it was drinking the oil. Just drink it.
So what
just
you're saying,
it drink it.
It drinks the oil.
And what I wanted to do was say, do you mean guzzle the oil? Isn't that what they say? It guzzles gasoline. Why wouldn't it? Does it?
Right.
It only you don't want to guzzle oil.
You don't
It
say
guzzles
it
gasoline.
swallows the oil.
No, Jesus.
No.
We might have to edit that out. We've got kids listening.
Go to bed, Miles.
It guzzles the gasoline. It drinks the oil.
It sucks it up.
It's just
Sucks it dry.
It sucks down the coolant. Sucks that down. You suck coolant.
Does it slurp anything?
It slurps the dishwasher. The window wiper fluid.
Oh, it goes through wiper
slurps
fluid
that.
like nobody's
it slurps
business.
it down.
Yeah.
But it drinks the oil. I got so sick of
think-
hearing that.
I think his car is dehydrated.
It might be.
just dying of thirst.
But I was like, did it have a crack in it? Oh, no, not a crack. It's just, it's the way they design them. They just drink the oil. He wouldn't explain it. And he kept saying it. About 3 to 4 weeks afterwards, it dawned on me. He was putting doubt in my head about my car because he wants to sell me a car. I remembered your story about when you bought a new car. And then they're trying to sell you another car while the car's coming around. And I thought, that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go back to the dealership and find him and say, what do you mean it drank the oil? I want you to specifically explain what you meant by that.
Well, I'm going to tell it again.
Yeah.
My favorite buying a car story was I was at a Chevrolet dealership.
Yeah.
And then I had also looked at the Honda place. And I was at the Chevrolet dealership, and I was going to take a car for a test drive, and the battery had died.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot because
Yeah.
sometimes they leave the battery on overnight. And the guy says, we can jump it if you wanted to take it for a test drive. And I said, no, I've got to get to work, but I'll come back in a couple of days. I came back in a couple of days, and the guy was standing there at the front of the dealership with his hands in his pockets. And I said, hey, I was here on Wednesday. Did you get that car jumped? I was going to take it for a test drive. And he said, no, I didn't have time. Okay, so it had been 3 days.
So you had Gomer Pyle.
Yeah, exactly. And I said, well, I've really got to get a car, and I'm in between whether I should get this car or a Honda that I've been looking at down the street. And he says, well, Hondas are good cars. I've bought 3 for my daughters. I said, okay. And I left. I drove straight to the Honda place, and I bought the Honda Civic.
Yeah.
And boy, did they have a good time laughing about that one.
Yeah.
You need to thank Gary down there at the
Yeah.
Chevrolet dealership.
Yeah.
By the way, those Chevrolets, they drink the oil.
They do. They drink the
do.
oil.
My
And
God.
Boy, they just suck it down.
It's time now for the Chick-fil-A Story of the Week.
All right, this is going to sound boring,
Okay.
but believe me,
Okay.
it's freaking hilarious.
Okay.
The Chick-fil-A that I go to, I don't call it out. I don't give the address or anything because I don't want them to be...
You don't want them to be so famous that they have to go out of business.
Well, I don't want them to get doxxed, as it were.
Don't know what that means. But okay. Yeah.
That's a term. It's only been around for like 10 years.
Okay. 10.
They have a fleet of people out there
Yeah.
to take your order. And I always get in a murder of people. I always get in the left lane. Okay?
Yeah.
Because
you're like me. I don't trust the right lane when it goes for drive-thrus.
It's not that. It's because
I don't trust it
in
at
the
all.
right lane is the lady that always asks me if I want them fried like they do.
Oh, okay.
And
We're not going through that again.
We're not. It makes me spitting mad. So I go in the left lane, and they're doing their thing. Now it's raining. The rain's going almost sideways.
Oh, yeah.
Now they've got the people. They're in those yellow pods. Have you seen them? The yellow rain pods?
Yes.
to where you're like
they work at the airport.
Yeah, you're like, come on, really, Chick-fil-A? You're gonna put them out there in the pods? Like, it makes me wonder if there's a Chick-fil-A like in Florida when it floods. Do they have little boats that they like go around?
Kind of like they're in their little Chick-fil-A hazmat suit.
Yeah, those bun engines drink the oil. Now they're taking the orders, and then all of a sudden, I see all the little yellow pod people stand to attention.
The pod people.
And then they start going in the Chick-fil-A.
Oh, the queen called them in.
The queen called them back. And there was one lady, not in a pod. And she's standing.
Well, no, the ladies don't get in the pods.
She's standing under the overhang, and I'm like, okay, she's going to take the order. She's taking all the orders now because she's under the overhang. They don't want the pod people to get struck by lightning. And then she leaves. I'm like, what do we do now?
Right.
So then I see people start rolling.
I love how you don't care about the storm or people's safety. You just want your chicken sandwich.
Part of me, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real with you.
Okay.
All right. I don't want to say this too loudly.
Okay.
Part of me is tired of Chick-fil-A.
Okay. Ooh. Okay.
And I was like, oh, what are you gonna do now? You've made this whole thing about you've gotten to the point where you're putting people in pods so they can be out there and my pleasure their way up and down the car lane.
Stupid.
What are you going to do now that Mother Nature says, Chick-fil-A, you're going back to being McDonald's for a few minutes? So they rolled down their windows. Now they're doing the old school, talking to the people on the inside
window?
Through the little speaker thing. So I do my order. I kind of stumbled on my order because I'm used to telling a person. So it is weird talking to a menu with a little speaker in it.
Oh, yeah.
When you're used to talking to a person. Then we come around. Now, this is the Chick-fil-A of Truck Nuts Troy fame, where they will come out and give you your order early so that you can sit there and just stare at the person in front of you. And, you can't eat your food. You're in limbo.
Right.
Right? So it's storming. The rain is going sideways.
Chick-fil-A purgatory.
They still have a dude out there standing, and I see him get the bags, and he's standing at the edge of where he's still covered from the rain. And I'm like, dude, if you walk over in this storm and make me roll down my window just to give me my salad before I can even do anything about it, I'm going to lose it. I'm actually going to go in and complain. It would make a funnier story if he did that. He didn't.
Oh, okay.
He finally went in, and then I had to deal with the lady at the window. But I had to pay, and I'm used to paying. Paying is usually 3 or 4 people back. I had to do they were going old school. I had to pay the person
It's
and
like
get
you're
the food.
stuck in the 1950s.
It was odd.
Yeah.
I was expecting them to come around and put a prime rib on the tray hanging outside of my car
over to
and
the
flip it
side.
over.
Yeah.
It was like I was in the Stone Age.
Wilma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But props to them. I mean, the way those pods snap to attention, part of me wonders that wasn't all human.
It's mind control.
I think part of it was those drones that are flying all over the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
I think they had something to do with it.
Oh, they absolutely controlled the employees at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like minions. It's literally what they look like.
Their eyes wide open. They turn and must go back inside.
Yeah.
Must greet our leader.
Yeah. They sound exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been the Chick-fil-A Story of the Week.
We've got to go, but before we leave, if you have TikTok, there's the one thing you have to look at on TikTok before you look at anything else on TikTok is cool places to stand. There's a guy, oh my God, it's hysterical. Hi, welcome to Cool Places to Stand. I'm going to show you a cool place to stand, and we're going to stand right here in front of this stairwell, and let's try it out. Let's get into it, as he says. And he stands there. This is nice. This is comfortable. I like the atmosphere here. There's some rocks to kick. This is a good solid place to stand. And the comments, oh my God, the comments are even better than the dude. And it makes me sick, Mike.
Yeah.
It really does make me sick because he took the simplest thing of I'm just going to stand there and I'm going to turn it into a thing. And my God, is it entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
He's just standing there.
Okay. You have been linking, you've landed on some gold mine.
Yes.
I laughed until I cried. the other day with the Captain Kirk. It's Captain. You've linked a couple of Star Trek and a couple of Hulks.
The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
The one I saw yesterday was Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was fighting. The guy's name is Devin Clark.
Oh, my Lord.
So look up Devin Clark, and he does...
Previously on Star Trek.
And he narrates, and he cuts it. He does like an entire episode and cuts it down to about a minute.
Yeah, dude.
My God, it's endlessly entertaining. He's done the Hulk, Wonder Woman.
So the Star Trek ones,
the Spider-Man one.
The Star Trek ones have me in tears. The one that almost killed me that you linked was the one where they go through a whole Hulk thing, and the Hulk handed a baby to a guy. That looked like
David Banner
looked
had
kind
the
of
loan shark, the child loan shark.
The guy did kind of look like Richard Pryor. He handed the baby to this guy.
I'm not Richard Pryor.
Yeah. And she says, "Thanks, Richard Pryor." You say, "Bitch, I'm not Richard Pryor." I almost choked.
So look up Devin Clark. So much fun.
Yeah.
So way better than this. We're gonna go.
Yeah.
We hope to see you next week. Go to our website. Become a patron. Send us some money, and we hope to see you next week.
Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
We're
yeah.
getting a bunch of people are
Yeah.
enjoying this through YouTube.
I mean, I keep asking people to tell their friends and share, and nobody does it.
Nobody pays attention.
So I'm like, do I just keep asking them to?
Yeah.
And do I, Mike? Do I cling to hope that people will help us make this podcast more successful?
Yes, you do. You always cling to hope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So please, for the love of God, tell people about this website, and join us next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Irritable Dad Syndrome is a Mike Odell, Darin Cox production.
Oh,
companion piece.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, this one skidded off the edge of the cliff, and yes, Captain Spock came over onto the other ship to the lady Kakakak. Brian Johnson swinging on a big wrecking ball, or Bono and Noel Gallagher riding a scooter. I'm gonna do Bono and Noel Gallagher.
Well, I knew you would say that. That's why I was gonna pick the other one. But yeah, do whatever you want. Took off my pants, and was popping pimples off my butt. Yeah.
Hello.
Almost every answer. There were like hundreds of answers, and they were all two hosts just sitting there talking about inane, stupid stuff and never getting to the point. Never. If they take more than 10 minutes to get to the point, more than 5 minutes to get to the point, they're just sitting there telling stupid stories about their life, and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
But I'm just here to learn something.
Yeah.
And I thought, my God, are we doing this all wrong? And then I look at our numbers and I say, yes, we may be doing this all wrong.
I've been hammer slammed today.
Oh, was that? Can you say that?
Yeah.
Our audience is mostly intelligent. Mostly. I'd say above average intelligence, but we still have people in our audience that thought that episode 7 was our last episode because we told everyone episode 7 was our last episode. So every time I see it downloaded, I think, we just lost a listener.
Yeah.
Because they're going to hear it and they'll be like, that show's over.